Leave the bottle.
I know you, bub.
Nope, but I know you. I need you, and even more unfortunately, my entire world needs you.
Okay, so I just finished watching Deadpool and Wolverine not too long ago. As of the moment I'm recording this, it's been like an hour since I actually finished watching the film, and I gotta say, there's a lot of spoilers I'm about to drop in this video. So if you haven't seen this film, go watch it and then come back to this video and like comment down and give your take. Would you agree, would you disagree with me? But yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of those people who generally, whenever like something comes out, like whether a movie, whether a television show, I'm one of those people who actually just watches one trailer, and if it like piques my interest, I'm gonna watch it. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna watch it. It just depends with certain media, but like with movies and stuff like that, if I see it once and it looks good, I'm gonna go watch it, because I try my best to avoid like watching multiple TV spots, multiple trailers, because then it kind of kills the anticipation, in my honest opinion. And I know recently with the Deadpool movie, they were releasing a bunch of TV spots showing some of the other characters, some previews, some cameos, and whatever the case is. Not all of them, only a certain amount, to get you excited, to build up hype. But me, I kind of avoided all that because I wanted to go to the movie theater with like a blank slate, not expecting anything. Like, I just watched one trailer and I'm like, all right, so let's see how this movie is. It could either be really good or it could be either really, really terrible. And I know not to trust trailers, because if you've seen Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, how they said it was gonna have all this crazy multiverse experience, it was kind of disappointing, because I know a lot of people hyped it up, and then when they saw the trailers and whatnot, they were ultimately disappointed. So I didn't want to go into this movie like feeling disappointing or getting my hopes up. So I'm really glad I went with what I did, because this movie, I gotta say, also spoilers, I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, big spoilers, really surprised me with some of the cameo choices they had, because I wasn't expecting some of the things that they actually did. But then again, pretty much this whole movie centers around transitioning Deadpool from the Fox reality into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They actually poke fun of this during the beginning of the film, when Deadpool actually goes to Stark Tower to like talk to Happy Logan to try to get an interview into the Avengers, which really took me off guard, because I didn't think we would be seeing like MCU type of crossover like canonically. So like Happy actually has met Deadpool and rejected him. It was a pretty funny interaction. I really was not expecting that whatsoever. When I saw him sitting down talking, getting rejected by the Avengers, I'm like, wait, what? This is a real thing? Even later on in the film, like early on, they show Thor with Deadpool, which I don't know if that's a tease for Secret Wars or Avengers 5, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty cool. The Deadpool movies have always had this weird feeling, like it can either get really cheesy and really annoying, or super serious and super funny. This had a pretty good balance of like from comedy to emotional moments, like impactful moments, which I really like. Whenever Wolverine was on screen, you could tell things were gonna get serious. You could tell his backstory was like super serious. No one really expected what was gonna happen. The thing I liked about this film, it kind of blended the Old Man Logan storyline from the comics, as well as the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Like, put them together and boom, we get this film essentially, because that's what this film essentially is. It's a buddy cop film with Wolverine and Deadpool. Essentially, Deadpool has to save his reality from being destroyed by a rogue TVA agent. And if you're not familiar with what the TVA is, go watch Loki. It's essentially the time police, and like if the time police catch you doing something wrong or altering a certain thing, they're just gonna delete you off history. And that's pretty much what was happening to Wade in this film. His entire reality was gonna get threatened by this rogue TVA agent. What was his name? Mr. Paradox. Funny enough, it actually reminds me of Professor Paradox from the Ben 10 series, which I don't know if that was like super similar, but they really sounded similar. I mean, you got like a British guy controlling time. Same thing. I don't know if they like wanted to call him Professor Paradox, but Mr. Paradox. It's really under the nose there. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, he pretty much goes on this journey to try to stop Paradox from destroying his reality, and in doing so, he brings a different version of Wolverine. He actually discovers that Wolverine is the reason his timeline is being destroyed, since Wolverine died in his timeline, which actually kind of surprised me. So like the Logan movie essentially takes place years and years later on in the Deadpool timeline, in the Deadpool continuity, because I believe that film was set in 2029 while Deadpool 2 ended off in 2018. So somewhere along those lines, the film or those characters interacted and the entire X-Men died. It's never really explained how that works, but we'll see more of that probably in the future, or maybe get more of an explainer about it, because I'm curious how did Logan and the Deadpool 2 film connect, if they're supposed to be in the same like timeline. Logan takes further down in the timeline. I really don't know, because Colossus is still there alive and kicking, but this film, yeah, it's essentially him just trying to save his own world from being destroyed. It was pretty cool just seeing him team up with Wolverine and seeing him like see other variants of Wolverine. We actually got to see a Hulk versus Wolverine cameo, which was pretty cool. We also got to see, I think it was a Days of Future Past Wolverine type of version, or Horsemen of the Apocalypse Wolverine, which was also pretty cool. But ultimately you got one of the worst Wolverines like teaming up with Deadpool. It's essentially the Wolverine who let everyone down, and in his reality pretty much everyone is dead. The Avengers like told them you suck, the X-Men are pretty much dead. So I have a feeling they kind of like implemented elements from the Old Man Logan storyline in the comics, where he essentially gets tricked by the villains into defeating and killing off pretty much every member of the X-Men. So in a way they kind of did that storyline with his reality, which is implied to be like why he's the way he is, because he's such a terrible person. He never put on the suit because he didn't really want to be a part of the team. But as the film goes on, we get to see Deadpool like kind of change his mind. Not necessarily, because at the end of the day, Deadpool is this annoying guy. He's the merc with a mouth. He just never shuts up, because parts of the film he got super annoying. My friend is like, man, does he ever shut up? I'm like, no, that's kind of the point of his character. He never shuts up. But yeah, just seeing them like try to fight the TVA and ultimately getting stuck in this void area. I can't remember what it's called. They actually referenced a lot of events from Loki and referenced some of the other characters and the events in that show, in the film, which was really fun. Obviously there was a lot of fourth wall breaking moments. They also did like a lot of cool cameos, which the one that surprised me was actually Chris Evans' Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. We actually got to see the Fantastic Four mobile in this film, which was really a surprise. Like Johnny is just there, and then he says "flame on." I kid you not, my entire audience was just like, whoa. They were all super hyped. Later on, he and Deadpool and Wolverine essentially encountered the big bad of the film, the main villain. Not Mr. Paradox, because he turns out to be good / bad, chaotic, evil, whatever cases. They encounter Cassandra Nova, which is essentially the evil version or the evil twin of Charles Xavier. Some weird stuff happens in the comics. I tried explaining this to my friends. So like essentially Cassandra Nova was like supposed to be born at the same time as Charles Xavier, but like he killed her in the womb when they were being born, so she was like stillbirth, or it gets really weird. Essentially she's basically just the evil version or evil sister of Charles Xavier. She has like this god complex. She wants to control everything, which is why in the Void she's pretty much killed off anyone that's tried to come up against her. We also see like survivors in her little raids, such as the Juggernaut. You get to see I forgot some members from the the Hellfire Club, some of the mutants there. You get to see Toad, you get to see Pyro, a few other X-Men or X-Men villains in there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, it was pretty cool just seeing her like try to fight Wolverine, and at that point she's ultimately giving them a pretty rough time, like with ease. She's like low diffing them. She's not even trying, bro, and that's until Wade does something and they get off, and they pretty much encounter like this resistance group who's trying to fight Cassandra Nova, which is pretty cool. It consists of Gambit, aka what was his name, Channing Tatum, and I gotta say that was probably one of the more unexpected cameos I've seen, because I remember correctly, Channing Tatum's Gambit film was supposed to be set like 15 years ago, but that never happened. I still remember seeing articles back when I was in high school saying, oh yeah, this film's gonna happen, but it never happened. So I bet you Channing Tatum's pretty excited to actually finally do Gambit in this film. And parts of the film, I could not understand what the hell he was saying, because I get he's from Louisiana, I get he has a Cajun accent, but what the hell was he saying 50%, 90% of the film, man? We also got to see Wesley Snipes in the film as Blade, which was pretty cool. And I kept telling my friend, where is the freaking Blade movie Marvel has promised us? They haven't dropped the Blade movie, so they had to bring back the OG Blade himself, the Dracula killer. That was pretty cool. We also got to see Elektra from the 2003-2004 film Elektra, which was really terrible, but they actually brought her back, which was pretty surprising. We also got to see Daphne Kane X-23 in this film, which was really nice, because I still can't believe it's been like 7-8 years since we last saw her in Logan. She's pretty much all grown up, and it really took me aback, like, damn. I sometimes forget people actually grow up and like they look different, and it's like, what? I swear she was like yay big. Now she's like yay big, and it like really took me aback. And the fact that she's kind of there, but she doesn't really do a whole lot, but she's mostly there to motivate our Wolverine, like to get him to be a better person, which was pretty cool to see. You're seeing all these members, seeing all these people like from discarded Fox projects team up to fight Cassandra Nova was pretty cool. And like seeing X-23 fight freaking Juggernaut was pretty cool, but at the same time kind of disappointing, because I expected to see a whole-on fight, but we didn't really see that. He kind of got off screen, but it was pretty cool. They also name drop a few other characters, such as Magneto, such as Doctor Strange, such as Thomas Jane's Punisher, such as Daredevil, Ben Affleck. It was really cool to see. Like, it was super hype. Pretty much anything that was name dropped was mostly in reference towards the Fox Marvel type of projects that happened, because they referenced the X-Men and the Avengers a lot, which was really neat. Also, I think the best thing about this film has got to be the interactions between Wade and freaking Wolverine, because anytime they were on screen, it was like either the funniest thing or like the saddest thing ever, especially the first two fights between them. Like when the first three fights, I should say, because there's one at the beginning of the film, there's one like towards the very beginning in the film, towards the very end. It was really cool, especially that car fight scene. I gotta say, it's one of the more creative fight scenes I've seen in any Marvel project. They literally fight in a freaking minivan. I didn't think a fight like that was impossible, but it was, and it was really good, man. Like, I cannot anticipate how good of a fight that was. I gotta give props to whoever came up with that idea, because it was freaking awesome. Also, the fight scene with the whole Deadpool corpse, really nice. My friend thought it was pretty cheesy that like they couldn't die or whatever, but come on, it's Deadpool. He can't die because he has this weird cancer thing. His power is like to infinitely regenerate. But yeah, it was pretty cool. You're seeing Wolverine and freaking Deadpool team up to fight all the 100 versions of it. We got like freaking Zen Deadpool, we got Kidpool, you got Cowboy Deadpool, you had freaking Lady Deadpool, you had Deadpool 2099, I think, or like some Power Ranger version of Deadpool, which was really fun to see. I know this video is pretty long, but it was just really cool. You're seeing like essentially the storyline of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe and like Old Man Logan put together in this film to get this. As far as the villain goes, Cassandra Nova, I think she was not too bad of a villain. She had good motivation. She was trapped in the void. She wanted to get out, and then when she got out, like I said, she had like this god complex. She tried to destroy pretty much every other timeline and be a god herself, which, if anyone can kill someone like that, it's got to be Deadpool, because, you know, Deadpool doesn't want to be like bothered. He just wants to do his own thing. But I really like the character development with Deadpool in this film, as well as Wolverine, how he ultimately comes to accept that he can't change his reality. Some things aren't meant to be changed, mostly due to the fact that if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be the way that he is today. And I really like how this film essentially pokes fun of the current state of Marvel and like some of the other Marvel projects currently happening, and it even teases future projects, which was really interesting to see. But overall, I gotta say, as far as the film goes, it is really good. The music choices was good. The fight scenes was really amazing. Most of the stuff was pretty practical. As far as the CGI, I think it was an improvement compared to some of the other Marvel films. It didn't really feel too cheesy. It didn't really feel too slabby. It felt just right. It literally felt right. But overall, is this a movie you should be watching? Is this a movie you should be excited? Absolutely. Also, if you've been wanting to see a comic accurate Wolverine, you get that. You get a lot of cameos. I don't want to spoil too much about the Wolverine stuff because there's a lot of cool stuff. But as far as his fight scenes, his berserker mode was probably one of the best things in this film. And he swears a lot. Like, this is comic accurate Logan, and it was really nice to see something like this finally on screen after freaking 20 years of being a Wolverine fan, or like for every Wolverine fan, this was like your dream come true. Overall, this is a pretty solid film. It's by far one of my favorite Marvel projects like ever, I gotta say. Aside from some of the Guardians films, I really like this film. It's probably my like top 5 at the moment. I didn't really care too much. Like I said, the cameos, it wasn't stuff that you were expecting. It was stuff that was there, but it worked for what the film was, which is what I really liked about this film. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on the film. I know I talked too much. I know I talked about characters, but it's really important because I could talk more about this, but I'm just going to spoil it. Like, if I do get plot details, go watch the movie yourself. I'm probably going to watch the movie, and I'm probably going to buy the Wolverine bucket, because I knew I should have bought it when I went there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As for my review, go watch it. Good film. Anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one.